Ready to start. Rabotai, and this week we have to analyze a little bit a great, awesome inyan of Tzedakah. Why? Because if you look in this week's Parashat, it says Terumah, which is referring to donations to give. For Hashem tells Moshe, right? Tell the people donations for what? For what? The Mishkan. Now, if you see, how do you say donation? Donation is usually what? Nedava. Very good. You hear what Moshe said? Very good. Nedava. Shemin Nadev. But if you look in the Torah in this week's parasha, it changes it around. What is it? Terumah. That already is a very big question. Why, when it's giving the donations of the Mishkan, in general, it's not saying what? Ve'kuli what? Nedava. Why is it saying Terumah? Now, on an easy level, you have to know the word Terumah comes from what? We'll really explain like this, but it comes from the lashon of mutar. If you switch around the letters, what's terumah? Hamutar. Meaning, you want to give charity, you want to accept charity, you want to give charity, you want to give it from the mutar money. Guy steals, he feels good about it. Okay, so I'll give maaseh. You stole money, what are you talking about? Blah, 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 blah. So in Pashtut, it's giving you a hint that one of the ways the Gemara Mesechet Nida says to be rich, one of the ways, there's different ways. It says in Mesechet Ta'anit, Daf Tet Amud Bet, what does it speak about? How to be rich. But it also says in Mesechet Nida, and it says to be yashar in business. If you ask businessmen, what is your secret to business? You work hard, and what? And you be honest in business. And one of the 4 questions we all know is, they're going to ask a person after 120, were you honest in business? Did you do honest transactions? So the first thing that you have to know about tzedakah, you're giving tzedakah, very good. But a guy says to himself, wait, if I make this deal and I sketch around here and there, I maybe steal a little bit, guess what? I'll be giving out more charity. That's great. The Yetzirah is getting you like that. You have to be honest. Honesty in business, it must be. So therefore, your money has to be honest. So therefore, the word terumah, in essence, what is it? What? Hamutar. The heter way. You have to bring out the money in a heter way in order to give. This is just off the cuff, but we got to delve. I would like to tell you the Ben Ish Chai about it. But in essence, that's one question we have to understand. Why, like Rav Moshe says, it should say nedaba. Why do you say terumah? Second question is that when you're donating, right? We have to analyze, when you're donating, usually you're donating to a shul, right? Or Beit Midrash. They need lights, they need windows, is a guy going to come ahead and give the Beit Midrash the window? Seriously. The Beit Midrash is a window, very good, you need a window. So hey, I have a window in my house, here, take my window. Oh, what does he need? Oh, he needs a carpet? No problem, I sell carpet, here, I go donate the carpet, I'll bring my carpet. Oh, you need chairs? I'll bring you chairs, be table. What do? They donate money. And if they donate money, what do? They take your money and they buy the things that they need for the thing. But by the Mishkan, it wasn't like that. The Mishkan, how did it come about? How did it come about by the Mishkan? It says that they brought their own dahab. They brought, it says, they brought their own zahab, they brought their own techelet, they brought the chesef, the silver, nechoshet, bronze. What are they doing? But give money and let the person, right? Let them give it one pot and let them buy whatever they want. No, they're giving the item. What's the pshat? Pshat is very simple. That over here, you have to know, we're talking about after Matan Torah in essence, right? In Parashat Yitro, we just had, and after that comes Parashat what? Right? You have Mishpatim, and then you have Terumah. So the people wanted the Shekhinah to dwell in their midst. So how do they do that? One of the ways is something that you made, or gold, or something that you have, that you worked for, and that's what you give. That actual item, it's more showing love to the situation. It's showing more ahava to the situation. I'll give you an example. If you ever take, you buy, imagine right now you have in your backyard, you're growing cucumbers and tomatoes. And come Shabbat, and you make Israeli salad, right? Friday, you pluck out on Friday all the tomatoes and all the cucumbers, and you make your own Israeli salad. Friday, you make your own Israeli salad. And then one of you have a guest coming for Shabbat, he brings you Israeli salad. And he say, oh, you got to taste this Israeli salad. Wait, one second. This I made. I planted the tomatoes. I planted the cucumber. I did everything. This tomato, this cucumber. I enjoy my Israeli salad so much more than the other guy. Why? What's the pshat? Because I actually physically made this item. So same thing. By the Mishkan, you actually worked hard to get this item, this specific item, and therefore this specific item is showing love to Hashem. This I worked for. I did this. I did that. This I'm giving you specifically to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now, another inyan, that's really another inyan that we have to know, that also when you come to nowadays, I'll give you an example. Nowadays, everything became a little bit, I would say, sometimes it's commercialized. You know, there was one time a lady that she was very happy with her husband. Instead of sending a text message, a whole nice text message, she came home and she saw like a bouquet of flowers. And in this bouquet of flowers, she had an entire note, handwritten note. It wasn't like a text message. It was like a handwritten note, a nice note. It's just more, what's the difference? A text message, I write the same thing in a text message to your wife. What's the difference? No, it's more sentimental. It's more, you put more thought in it. You put more work in it. You gave her the flowers. You gave her a note, your own handwriting with it. It becomes different. You can understand it becomes different. So to obey the Mishkan, we want Hashem, we want to show the inyan. And that's why I want to tell you something. Guys, please. It's the same thing with learning, by the way. We're learning, don't think your learning is any different in the world. Because a person might think, wait, I'm not the Gadol Ador, I'm not a rabbi, I'm not this, I'm not that. You're not understanding. When you're learning Torah and you're serving Hashem and whatever what you're doing, you're giving something to Hashem that nobody else in the world could give. You're giving Him your heart. Like it says, Rachmana liba ba'eh. What does Hashem want from you? He wants your heart. What do you mean He wants your heart? Meaning to say, yeah, oh, you know you're not going to learn the whole Baba Batra in one Shabbat like the Hazon Ish did one time. You're not going to do it. Hazon Ish did it. There happens to be, there was one time, what? Chaim Kanievsky. Right. He wants to make a second siyum, so he did the whole Baba Batra. Hey, but exactly, right? The siyum makes another siyum, right? You're going to do that? You also want to try? It's very hard, right? It's very hard to do that. Rav Chaim Kanievsky did that. But what? Hashem wants your heart. Hashem wants your effort. And that's the same thing by the Mishkan. Whatever they were able to bring, they brought. I told you this once. There was a fundraiser that there was a Beit Midrash that was making a Beit Midrash. And one guy got up and he raised a substantial amount, over $100,000 to the Midrash. He raised over $100,000. And there was another person that got up and he only raised $343. It's a true story. He only raised $343. And I'll never forget this story because I actually went to the person, I asked him, how do you feel? You know, you're very far apart. This guy was able to collect $100,000 and you only collected $343. And you had a week to collect it. What happened? So he says, I feel amazing. I said, are you really being serious? You don't feel bad? Like everybody else in the yeshiva, in the kollel, whatever, collected much more than you. You don't feel bad that you only collected $343? I'm not like legit. That's the number. I'm not. That was the number, and people collected a lot more. So I asked him again. He said, "No, I don't feel bad." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because I know that I did everything that I can do in this week to collect as much as I can for the yeshiva. I put all my effort. My connections was my connection. That's all I had. That's all I had. That's all my people that I knew when I spoke to and I asked. I did my utmost that I can do." So he says, I feel amazing because I did everything I could do. So this guy that collected $100,000, over $100,000, I'm very happy for him. It's very good. I'm very happy for him. Very, very good. But at the end of the day, I did what I can do, the utmost that I can do. And that's what I want to tell you. It's the same thing about the Mishkan. Mishkan, Hashem wants you to give as much as you can. That was it. So therefore, if a guy had a golden thing, or he had a bronze, he had this, he had that, Hashem says, oh, this is so valuable to me. Because this is what you created, you made, you got, you did, you created, whatever. this is it. This is very valuable. And therefore, a person has to know in life, sometimes you go into a Beit Midrash, or you go into a shul, or you go into wherever you go into, and you might get a little bit like that, oh, this guy's, he's steiging more than me, he's learning more than me. At the end of the day, you have to do your part. You have to do the best that you can do. And when you're doing the best that you can do, Hashem's very proud of you. Hashem's always proud of you. He's extra proud of you when you do the best that you can do. You're doing the best you can do, extra proud. And that's really a big lesson that we have to learn from the Terumah over here. That they just give money. They gave their valuables. Why they gave their valuables? Like it says, the tchelet, the agaman, the tolat. What's the pshat? The pshat hachani, v'sheshizim. The pshat is because Hashem wants Rahmana libabai. He wants you to put your effort in. You put your effort in. I want to tell you something. There was one time by the Stipler, Rav Chaim Kanievsky's father, the Stipler. Listen to the story. What happened was there was a fellow, and he was learning in yeshiva for 5 years in the kollel. And after that, he came to he came to the Stipler, and he says, "I think I'm done. I did 5 years. I'm not growing, and this, that. I think I should leave." So he says, "Come over here." He says, "Bring me a Mishnah." Okay, bring me. Can you read the Mishnah? So he reads the Mishnah. Could you explain? What are you learning? Oh, I'm learning this. Okay, bring me the Mishnah. Could you explain me what you're learning about the Mishnah? He explained to him the Mishnah. So he says, don't worry, you're being matzliach. He's like, really? He's like, yeah. You don't realize the smallest thing in Torah, how great it is. You don't realize that. You know what they used to do? They used to count the letters of the Sefer Torah. The letters. The letters, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a question even asked, what's the middle letter of the whole Sefer Torah? And the answer is Vav. So they say, oh wait, is the Vav, that Vav, is it closer to the first half or is it the second half? It's in the middle, but is it closer to it? Who cares? No. When it comes to Torah, you don't know how valuable the Torah is. It's so valuable that if you grow even a little bit, it's kedai. It's worth it. You're growing. And a lot of times a person might feel that he's not, but it's not true. You're growing and you're growing. And this is a lesson that we learn from the Terumah, that give what you can. Serve Hashem what you can, but put your full effort in. Because a lot of times people are selling themselves short in life. They could put so much more effort in, but they don't. They're not exerting themselves as they can. I just want to let you know that. You have to know that. You have to know that. In advance, you have to know that. Because a lot of times the Yetzer Hara will tell you, oh, I'm doing great. I come in the morning learning, I come in the night learning, great. But you could do much, so you could do much more. You could do so much more, even in your learning. Don't ever sell yourself short, because I want to tell you something. You all, and the people who are listening, have tremendous kochot, tremendous strengths that you didn't even tap into. You don't know what you're made out of. It's like you guys, a car. You have a brand new car. You ever get a brand new car? I'm talking about like a brand new car, and you think it only could go to 60 miles per hour, right? Meanwhile, this car could go, whoa! You don't know the strength of the car, because you never really understood what it's made out of. You didn't. How you have the 100 buttons, this button, that button. I was at one time a few years back. I was with a wealthy person, and I was in the hospital visiting a sick person, and he was visiting, and he asked me, "Can I take you home?" I said, "If you're going that way, chavod." I go home with him. What is he driving? He's driving an old car, like a regular old car. The guy is, I'm talking about in the tens of millions. Like we're talking about buildings, like big building, not 3-story, like big building. And I looked at him like, are you serious? Like I think I'm going to nice this, leather seats, this, that. I said, you're joking me, right? I said, do you mind if I ask you a question? He said, sure. I said, I don't understand. Why don't you get a car with all the gadgets and it has this, it has heated seats, it has this, it has that. His car was so simple. I take it back. It was a new car, but the most simplest car. No gadgets. No gadgets. You put a thing, you drive, that's it. No 100 gadgets, nothing. I said, why? He said, it's more simpler like this. You think I know every gadget? Press this button, press that button, what it does, what it is. What, he's like, it's just easier like for me. It's easier for me. Simpler. But my point I'm trying to make is, if you knew what the buttons could do, if you knew what each button could do, you might have a different outlook on it. Wow, I didn't know this button's for the sunroof. I didn't know this button gives, there's a massage button over here. Some cars, they have that now. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. They have the massage button. No, they don't even know it exists. Some don't exist. There's this button, that button. What I'm trying to say is, built in you, you have so much in you. You don't know. You didn't start tapping the buttons yet. There's so much buttons that you didn't even stop. Oh, I also have this, I have that. Because the human being is filled with kohot. So I want to just tell you, you have to put your full heart in it. But don't ever sell yourself short in your life and think, you could do more, you could do more, you could do more. You just have to believe what you are loaded with. You'll be able to complete. You can accomplish more. Now, there is another extremely important question over here, and that is famous question, and it says, "Vayichuli terumah." And I know everybody's talking about this question. And I have 5 answers to this. I'm giving you one. I'll give you one, maybe two. Okay? I have 5 answers. The other ones on Shabbat I can give. But this is the question of the Parashat. What is it? It says, Vayikuli terumah. What does Vayikuli terumah mean? Take for me a what? A donation. What do you do when you're donating? Isaac, what do? You're giving. You're giving a donation. You're giving a donation. So what is it saying over here? Take a donation. It shouldn't be take a donation. It should be give a donation. Why is it taking a donation? So simply put, like you're saying, everybody knows that when a person is simply put, when a person is what? Is giving a donation, he's really taking it for his Gan Eden for 120. Like I know the famous mashal given, how there was a boy, this is a famous mashal, how there was a boy, and he was very young, he was 6 years old, and he had apple seeds. And he was collecting all these apple seeds. And his father one day takes it, and he takes it from him, he says, he takes it on a drive, and they're driving an hour away, and the father says, give me apple seeds. And the father takes the apple seeds, throws it on the floor, and buries the apple seeds, and throws it on the floor, and then kicks it, and stamps on it. And the little 6-year-old boy, Daddy, my apple seeds, you're taking my apple seeds. Oh, and he's crying. He said, son, trust me, don't worry. They go back. The boy hits his 20th birthday, and now he's getting married. His 20th birthday, he's getting married. He says, I want to have your wedding somewhere special. Says they drive an hour away, and this is where I want to have your wedding. Where is it? He has a whole apple orchard. Trees and trees and trees and trees and trees. Daddy, what is this? You remember when you were 6 years old? I took you over here. I stamped on your seeds. But guess what? Look what you grew. So at the end, sometimes a person, when he's giving charity, he thinks that, oh, my money's lost. My money's gone. Where did my money go? Oh my goodness, my money's out. My money's out of the pocket. You fool. You just put it and you gave it to Hashem, and Hashem is building your apple orchard. You know what's going on over here? After 120, you go, wow. These are your few seeds that you gave away. These are the few seeds that you buried. This is the cheshbon. So really, what are you doing? Really taking. Every donation that you're giving, you're really taking. Why? It's never going to be lost. You're never ever losing with it. Now, I want to tell you another pshat though. I want to tell you another pshat. The other pshat I like to tell you is a pshat from Masechet Kiddushin. The Gemara in Masechet Kiddushin says as follows. The Gemara says, in order to marry a lady, you have to give her something. Right? One of the ways is kesef. Kesef, shtar bi'ah. One of the things is kesef. You have to give her something. You have to give her a value of a peruta. So the question is, let's say it's vice versa, and you say, that's what you do. You give her the ring, you give her the kesef, you give her something, and you say, marry me with this. So the question is asked, let's say a woman gives the guy something. The woman gives her, she sees you, by the way, she likes you very much. Here, take my watch. And you put on you put a watch, you put the watch that she gave you, and you say you mekudesh it with the watch that you gave me. Is she mekudesh, yes or no? Only if it's Adam Hashuv, right? Right? He's right. Only in one condition, Adam Hashuv. What do you mean by that? Meaning, a lady cannot give for marriage a watch, and then the man says, you're married, bestowed upon you because the watch that you gave me. It can never happen. Why? Because you have to give a lady a peruta, a hana'ah of peruta. You have to give her a hana'ah, you have to give peruta. You have to give something that's worth something, a value. And you didn't give her anything that valuable. She gave you, you have to give her. However, there's one exception to the rule. The exception is if what? If the person is Adam Hashuv, if he's an important person, very Hashuv guy, and now you took it, then already she's Mekudeshet. And you say Alei Mekudeshet li, she's Mekudeshet. Now what's the Havana? What's the understanding to that? How does that even work? Tell me, how does that even work? How does it work? What's the common sense to that? I'll tell you very simply what's the common sense to that. I'm going to tell you right now what's the common sense to it. The common sense to it is like this. The common sense to it is that, I'll give you an example. Who's the most chashuv rabbi that you know in the world? Let's say, thank you. Let's say you have Chacham Ovadia Yosef. Chacham Ovadia Yosef, Rav Chaim Kanievsky. Right? Who? Victor Miller. You have a very hashuv rabbi. Rav Shach. Whichever rabbi you can think of. Whichever rabbi you can think of. Now all of a sudden, let's take Chacham Ovadia Yosef. And now what happens? You see Chacham Ovadia Yosef, you tell him, Rabbi, you ever met Jack Lally? You ever met Chacham Ovadia Yosef or no? You ever meet him? Never met him? You know who he is though, right? Imagine right now you give the Gadol Ador, the biggest rabbi in the world, the biggest rabbi, whatever you can think of, the biggest rabbi. Imagine you give Rashi HaKadosh. Rashi, everybody knows Rashi. The Rambam. Imagine the Rambam is coming to town. And you give the Rambam, you watch. And you see him now, he's going into a shul, a Beit Midrash, and he's giving shiur. And he's wearing your watch. Okay, Rabotai. Okay, time to start. Okay, I'll be... And you're like, hey, boys, that's my watch. The rabbi's wearing my watch. How good do you feel? How good do you feel? You feel unbelievable. The rabbi's wearing my watch. Unbelievable. The rabbi's wearing my watch. You feel so good. That itself is a feeling that's worth at least peruta. So therefore, when the lady gives the man Adam Hashuv something and he accepts it, she's excited that this great human being, this Adam Hashuv, took my item. He's wearing my whatever watch. I gave him the dollar, he took my dollar. He's going to spend my dollar. She gets hana'ah, and with that hana'ah, she's mekudeshet. Says that's the same thing over here in our case. What were we doing? We were giving charity for what? For the Shekhinah, like it says, Va'asul li mikdash v'shachanti betocham. Make mikdash so I can dwell in the mikdash. So therefore now it answers perfectly. Because what are we saying? We're saying that really we're taking when we're giving. Why? We get pleasure knowing because my donation that's going to the Mishkan, Hashem is dwelling in us. What does it say? V'asuli mikdash, make a Mishkan, v'shachanti betocham. So now when you're giving the charity to the Mishkan, you're saying to yourself, wow, look, I'm going to give this and the Shekhinah is going to come. You're not really giving, you're really taking because it's such a hana'ah. It's such a pleasure for you to see the Shekhinah come down because of you, your donation. So really you're taking for yourself. You're saying, what hana'ah I have? What pleasure do I have? I have such a great pleasure. So that's why it's very cool terumah. Yeah, why it's very cool terumah? Again, because you're taking it. Why? Because you're gaining so much pleasure knowing the fact that when you're giving charity to the Mishkan, what's going to happen? The Shekhinah is going to come down. So therefore, you're so proud. Wow, look, because of my donation, the Shekhinah came down. Wow! So you're really taking the hana'ah. You're taking that love. That's what it's very cool terumah. Take for me terumah. Why? You're getting more hana'ah when you're giving, because that's what's going to happen. Yeah. You hear what's going on? Jack, you hear what's going on over here? What? I want to conclude one last shot, please, of one thing about terumah. And that is, I said I'm going to tell you the Ben Ish Chai, I'm going to tell you the Ben Ish Chai. I'll tell you the Ben Ish Chai. When you're giving charity, when you're giving tzedakah, everybody knows there's two things that could happen. It could change the deen. It could wipe out the deen. Let's say, heaven forbid, it says, tzedakah tatzil mimavet. Let's say, heaven forbid, there's a gezerah on somebody. There's a gezerah on tzedakah, it could wipe it out. Right? Or, it can change the decree. What do I mean? I'll explain. Let's say, for example, I want to read you the pasuk actually where it says it. There's a pasuk that says, "Vayafoch Hashem lecha tekala lebracha." Hashem will change the kilala to beracha. I'll give you an example. There was two people selling wine. And the guy who was selling wine, the competitor, he wanted this guy out of business. So what did he do? He went one night and he basically hired men to turn his wine into vinegar. So he comes the next morning. This guy, there's a very big wine, a market sale for wine. There's two competitors there. One competitor knows that he poisoned the other one that turned all into vinegar. The other one knows that he's going to sell out all his wine. What happens? He wakes up in the morning. He's about to go sell his wine. He starts smelling a certain smell. He tastes his wine. Each barrel tasted like wine vinegar. Oh my goodness, what is this? What happened? Maybe I'm doing Aved, this, that. He started giving tzedakah. The guy gave charity. Imagine, think about it for a second. What would you do? Right away, no, I want to give more charity. I want to give tzedakah. So he started giving tzedakah. And it says, what happened? After he gave tzedakah, what happened was, there was a disease going around, wherever it was, in a place in the world. And they said, in order to cure the disease, they needed right away wine vinegar. And who had it? This guy had it. And he took all that, and he was able to make millions just from that, from the vinegar. And that's why it says, "Vayafoch Adonai et hakelala beracha." Hashem will ma'apech the kelala that the person once had to beracha because of the charity that he gave. He turned it around. He turned the kelala around because he gave the charity. He turned it around. That's why it says. Let's say it says nega. What's nega? Nega is what? A blemish. But if you turn the letters around, what is it? Oneg. Pleasure. And that's exactly what happens. When a person's giving tzedakah, giving charity, one of the things that happens is, the person is changing the deen, he's changing the gezerah, that it's a whole different deen. And that's why it's called what? Terumah. Because you know what Terumah, if you scramble the letters, what it spells? Temurah. You know what Temurah means? To change. To change. What happens? When you're giving tzedakah, when you're giving charity, you're changing the gezerah. You're changing it. That's what's happening, exactly what's happening. You know, you come to a poor man's asking for money, and he needs the money. You know how much you're changing the gezerah in Shamayim? And by the way, I want to tell you something. There is a very famous Hafetz Haim. The Hafetz Haim says, in the Tehillim it says, Ach tov v'chesed yirdefuni. It's a very famous Hafetz Haim, but this is what he writes. He says, what do you mean, Ach tov v'chesed yirdefuni? You know what yirdefuni means? You know what a rodef is? No, Jack. What's a rodef? Rodef is somebody trying to kill you. That's like a rodef. He's rodef after you. He's running after you. He's saying that what? Chesed, ach tov v'chesed, yirdefuni kol yemei hayai. Meaning to say, everybody in life has something. So either what's going to run after you? Either has v'shalom, something. Says Hashem, David HaMelech prays that what? What should chase me? Hesed should chase me. You know what it is to be a wealthy man here? You know what it means? I don't know if you know what it means. Let me explain a day of a wealthy man. You come to your office. You go into work. You know how many emails and messages this wealthy man is having? Do you know how many times they come in the office, people to ask for charity? Go think. Go ask any wealthy guy, even when they're not so wealthy. You know how many people are knocking on the office? How many text messages? How many emails? How many this? How many that? Tons, I'm telling you. Now what happens? You could say, you know what? I'm shutting my door. No, don't come. No. Don't do that. What do? Let that be my kapara. Let that be my kapara. No problem. No problem. You don't know what it is. You know how many calls wealthy people get on a daily? On a daily, and it could be on the same person, the same family could call again and again and again. I need money for my electric. I need money for my mortgage. I need money for this. I need money for that. I need money for my camp. I need money. So therefore, that in essence, we're saying, David HaMelech says, let that be your adifa. Let that be your roidif. Let that be your chase. Let that be your kapara. And you know what? Take it. Take it. How many meshulachim come? How many rabbis come from any sale? And you know what? They're coming to you. The question is, how are you going to act towards them? How are you going to act towards them? What's your reaction? At least give them a smile. Let's give them a smile. Even if you can't help them, at least give them a smile. They're coming all the way from Israel. They see a guy. They don't know your finances. They don't know. At least give them a smile. I wish I can help you. Right now I can't. At least that. Or give them something. If you have, give. If not, at least be polite and be nice. I know it might be hard, it might be difficult, but this is the lesson we're learning over here from David HaMelech. David HaMelech is telling you that what? Let that be your difa. Let that be your kapara. And guess what? If you'll see many times. Ask anybody who's older than you. Ask them. How many times people come up to you and ask for donations? How many times people ask you for a bake sale, for an auction, for a raffle, for a Chinese, for Pesach, for this, for that, for Sukkot, another holiday, another this, another that, Shabbat, this organization, that organization, this yeshiva, that. How many? Tons. Guess what? Let that be. Let that be your adifa. Let that be. No problem. All come. No problem. Everybody come. Let's go. Bring it on. No problem. No pressure. If you can help, great, let's go. Help, no problem. You can't. You could. If you can't, you have to be in a polite way. You got to know how to say it. If you could, no problem. Because that's exactly the point. The point is because when that's happening, there's so many things that Hashem is removing away from you. You know, one time they came to Rabbi Akiva, they asked a very famous question. It says, why Hashem loves everybody? Why is there poor people? Right? Could Hashem support the poor people? What does he need you to give him your few dollars? Can Hashem support the people? Yes or no? So why is there poor people? You know what the answer is? To save you from Gehinam. That's what the Gemara says. To save you from Gehinam. Imagine that's such a thing. To save you from Gehinam. What does it mean save me from Gehinam? You're saving him in this world, Hashem will save you in the next world. You're saving him in this world. You are saving his life in this world. Hashem says, don't worry. Save him in the next world. Save him Gehinam. You know what's going on over here? You know what's going on over here? It's true. It happens. And that's David HaMelech saying, that what should run after me? The Hesed and the Tzedakah and this. Let it run after me. No problem. If you can do it, do it. You can't, you got to tell them in a polite way. That's all. And guess what? If you do it, like it says, Hashem will switch the kelalah to berakah, and that's the word terumah. Terumah comes from the word of temurah. Temurah, the word temurah means to change. When you're giving tzedakah, you're giving, you have to understand, when you're giving charity and things like that, you are changing the decree of anything that's happening. You're changing it. And that's why they say, one of the things is tshuva tefillah, tzedakah, they rip the exact, you have to understand this is a very important point. And I want to just tell you, one of the things it says is ve'chuli terumah. One of the in the Pesukim when it speaks about charity, it says patoach tiftach. Why say it twice patoach tiftach? You say patoach. What's tiftach? Because Hashem wants you to also give lishma. Sometimes a person, he has to have rahmanut. He has to have pity on the person. You have to have pity, but there's also a level of make sure don't forget about Hashem. Why? Because one day maybe you don't have pity on the person. Hashem says you have to give because I told you to give. Bezrat Hashem be zochet to remember this lesson and only good things.